Hello everyone, I'm the Machine King, and I know my birthday video is about 2 days late, but I at least got the list done. It's written for me. I just don't have a script, and I'm not going to do all those very weird. I'm not very keen on jump cuts or uh, basically. I mean, you can just look up the game footage online. I mean, anyways, onto the list. First of all, this is my personal list. This is just my opinion, and if you don't agree with it, that's absolutely fine. Just don't be a butt about it. And that's it. Really. It just has to be fun. It has to do something for me. That's about it. Number 10. SuperCastleVania 4. I got, to be honest, I get jealous of my brother really a lot. So, whenever he beats a game in the series that I have yet to beat, it makes me a little upset. So, when my brother beat like Dawn of Sorrow or Symphony of the Night, I was all like, okay, I'll just play a Castlevania game and see how it does. And then so I decided to choose Super Castlevania 4. I think it was because of JonTron's top 20 SNES games list, and I decided to play it out of that, and it was very fun. You know, getting to whip in multiple directions to get rid of bats, all those another annoying enemies, using alternative weapons to change the way you play. It's very fast. It's very good. No real big glitches and such. I had a lot of fun, and I actually feel proud that I beat Super Castlevania 4. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have the cartridge, so I had to use an emulator because middle low class American style. But I don't have. I mean, it was a really fun game for me, and I think those who are fans of platformers in general can just have a blast with this one. Because I'm not a big fan of the Metroidvania style. It's just, I mean, who knows? Maybe it might be for me, but if we do decide to play, well, if we decide to record Symphony of the Night, then it's gonna be me who's playing it because my brother already beat, like, he totally just destroyed Symphony of the Night, and now it's my turn to play, and I don't know if I'm gonna have fun with that or not, but who knows if more explosions does actually kick off, but let's wait and see. Anyways, Super Castlevania 4, it's fun. It's really good. I like it. The music is fun. The music is catchy. The gameplay is very fun. And it's just all around a good time. It's not perfect, but I see why it's a really good game. And that's why it's number 10 on my list. Number 9, Armored Core Master of Arena. Which is a very underrated series for, a lot of people, and I think a lot of people should play it a little bit. I think a little bit more people should play it. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the game itself. Basically, Armored Core is basically a giant mecha fighting game. Okay, not giant mecha fighting game, but giant mecha shooter game. And the thing I love about it most is the customization options. Because in Armored Core Master of Arena, which is the last one in the PlayStation 1 trilogy, it basically had the most parts, it had the most customizations, and the most things, therefore it equals maximum enjoyment. And also, it's a very nostalgic game for me as well. Because, me and my brother played it a lot. We would always have our preferences. I would prefer to go slow, heavy, and, guns a-blazing, while my brother likes to, be really fast, but yet also very frail, so it's actually a really cool, I think it's a really cool, thing we had going on there. But, it was just a really fun time because the weapons are awesome, the customization options are great, the arena is great. You don't have to fight 50 matches just to get you don't have to fight 50 matches just to get a few exclusive parts and weapons and all that. And it's just a really fun time. Disc 1 allows you to do the one-player adventure with missions, your mail, all that stuff. While Disc 2 allows you to make your own arena. The only thing that limits it is your creativity, because it gives you every single piece. For the second disc, it gives you, like, every single piece to use to make your own little different mechs and stuff for, for different challenges and such. And I think that's a really cool thing. But the thing is, they never really they never really use it ever again in like future Armored Core games, which makes me really sad. Now, Master of Arena is definitely the best out of the PlayStation 1 trilogy. If you haven't at least played one of those games, or if you had to play a few games on the PlayStation 2, I would suggest Armored Core 2 or Armored Core 2 Another Age. Or if you have an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, I recommend Armored Core 4 or Armored Core for Answer. And it's just a very good giant mecha shooting game. It's very fun, very fast paced, and of course the local multiplayer is of course really good fun and addictive. That's why it's number 9 on this list. Number 8. Shit. Number 8 is Mega Man X5. Why? Because I think I had one of the better times enjoying this title than the other X games. X1 was hard for me to beat because I don't think I've played an X game ever since I was like 5 years ago. And up to that point when I was 15 or 16, where I haven't played it, it made me really sad that I missed out on such a good franchise like Mega Man. But luckily I've been catching up to it now, I got the Mega Man collection, and of course I played Mega Man X, and it's fun, it's great, all around downright awesome classic. X2 was fun as well. A few added things to keep the story going, but all around, it was also another fun title. X3, there's one thing I didn't like is the different things you had to get to, like, get this really cool item, which is the golden armor. There's so much you had to do in that. But all around, it was alright, but the music wasn't too good for that one. Mega Man X4, it was good. I have to admit, I know, people bash on it for shitty voice acting and such, but I don't let that get to me. It's just, I understand, but overall, it's still a really good standalone title. And plus, you get to play through the full game as Zero for the first time, so that's also a really good feature. And then Mega Man X5, I think, Mega Man X5 allows you to have 3 or 4 armors for X, because, you have the 4th armor from X4, the Falcon armor, the Gaia armor, and then, of course, the Ultimate armor, which is, of course, everyone's favorite. And overall, it's just basically the most X game ever, because there's so much more armor upgrades and such you can use to your advantage. It's so good. And plus, it's the perfect, I think, in my opinion, this isn't, I'm not going to attack anyone with this, but I'm just saying that I think it was the perfect conclusion to the Mega Man X franchise. In the classic series, you couldn't really know what direction that game was going to, so it was really hard. So, and then Mega Man Zero, I'm sorry, it's just, it's a good series. It's not for me. Mega Man X is definitely one of the better things. It's definitely one of the better franchises suited for me, at least, in the Mega Man series. Sorry, I just having a throat problem. But and plus, it's, I know Alia, whatever. I don't give a shit. Okay, that's just one thing. I'm sorry. I understand she's very annoying, but I just skip it. Sure, it cuts to you about a little bit out of the immersion of the game, but once you do that, you get back to the game. And overall, I have a really fun time with it. The boss fights are great. They're fun. They're either hard or challenging and such. It's just an overall fun time. The music's great, and it's the perfect finale for Mega Man X. Number 7 on this list is, get ready for this, Fire Emblem Awakening. Now, why am I choosing Fire Emblem Awakening over the greatness that is Fire Emblem's Blazing Sword, Sacred Stones, or, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn? But the thing is, I haven't played Radiant Dawn yet, or Path of Radiance, so, obviously. I did play I have played Sacred Stones, and I did have a fun time with that one. It was good. I mean, sure, it's not the hardcore. Oh, you can backtrack, you can fight enemies over and over again, you can grind until you get better. I don't really get that type of it. I'm not an elitist, like, when it comes to at least Fire Emblem. I'm not. If the game is fun, then I'm fine. Because that's what I did. In Fire Emblem Awakening, yeah, I understand, the main avatar is... the main character is very overpowered because you can be almost any class you want. And it's practically a little unfair to use because the player character, you pretty much rule everything with it, and you can do pretty much anything you want with it. Make it a magic user, make it a sword guy, axe guy, lance guy, whatever. But I just think, in my opinion, it's the definitive experience for Fire Emblem because it allows you to do so much with it, and because of this whole I mean, I don't understand why everyone calls it just shipping simulator. It really isn't. I mean, I understand why they call it that, but otherwise, not really. Although it is very fun, and then there are a few mechanics that also make the game itself also pretty broken as well, such as allowing you to tag up with other units to get stat boosts and stuff. That's also a little broken and unfair. It's just, I mean, it was an overall easy game for a lot of people, and it was an easy game for me, really, except for Lunatic that can go fuck itself. But otherwise, I had a fun time with it. Ever since my friends got the game, I've always wanted them to play it so that way I can fight their avatars and get them onto my team and such. And that's what I would do. That's pretty much what I would do, and I had a fun time with it. And for those of you wondering what my favorite Fire Emblem class, it's the Knight and General classes, just because of the ridiculous defense, good attack skills, and of course ridiculous defenses. I love the General class. It's just the perfect class to me. I mean, sure, it's slow and weak to magic, but if you have the right stuff, you can just be all like a big fuck you to magic and just slaughter them. The Fire Emblem Awakening, sure, it has the casual mode. It still allows other people to play, even those who are not entirely liking the permadeath part of Fire Emblem. I mean, sure, it's all like, but it teaches you how to strategize better. But no one wants to play through a game and reset it a bunch of times just so that way they can let all their characters live. It's really hard, and I do that a lot. I do that, but I'm pretty sure not a lot of people want to do that either, and it takes fucking forever, and it's just basically a big trial and error, and not a lot of people are into that. Fire Emblem Awakening is definitely one of my better liked games of the series. I liked Fire Emblem 7, but it was alright. The plot was weird, but otherwise, plots to strategy RPGs aren't really the best thing, really. It's just usually about the gameplay and characters. And Sacred Stones, as I said, I had fun with that, but there's just nothing really too much to write home about. And that's about it for... And Fire Emblem Awakening, encourages you to get married and get children. Alright, number 6. The new Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Basically, it's very fun fighting. It's always been one of my favorite fighting franchises. I've always been some of a good competitor in some fighting games. I'm not good at all of them. I will admit that right now. I suck at some certain fighting games, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I suck at Mortal Kombat, like, pretty bad, because the latest which I have played in the series, which is Mortal Kombat 9, and a lot of characters can teleport. I couldn't teleport because even though I played as Reptile. The reason why is because I just entered the tournament and I was like, okay, I'll just play this and just have fun. And that's when I actually pulled off my first fatality, and that was actually really fun. You know, it's not every day you see, you do a fatality. Even though there are people out there who actually have played like every single Mortal Kombat game, and I'm not judging. You guys are good. But me, I'm not good with Mortal Kombat. I'm not good at Street Fighter. I am not too good at Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But I do like my Smash Brothers and Soul Calibur. And Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U is, to me, the definitive version for Super Smash. Like, you can get into it, but it's not as hard as to get into as Melee, because Melee had all these weird, L canceling and wave dashing and all that stuff. And it's just all like, nah, I'll just fight my own way. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be a professional Melee player. It's just the scene was not for me. But I just think, and plus Super Smash for Wii U, I've had a lot of. I'm somewhat competitive when it comes to this. I'm actually getting pretty good, but I'm not too sure. I mean, I would let, once I go to a tournament, and if I can like record matches and such, I'll let you guys be the judges of that. And of course, everyone's going to ask, who's your best character? Yoshi. It was so weird because I used to think Greninja was my best character, but then I just started experimenting with Yoshi because one of my other friends, Ryan, he always plays as Yoshi when it comes to Super Smash. The first Melee, Brawl, and then now here he plays as Yoshi. And I decided, you know what? I just want to play as Yoshi, just to figure out what makes him tick. And to be honest, we kind of clicked easily, and he's very fun, he's very fast and agile, and especially has good airs. He has good air stuff, so. And Yoshi's just all around a fun character for me. With Super Smash for Wii U, I've had lots of I've had lots of fun playing this game, and I will continue to play it even as the days go by, because I have fun with it, and it's I'm good at it, and it makes me feel happy about it. And speaking of which, I actually have a story that me and like 5 or 6 other friends went to Yamacon this year, and aside from the little Karibo panel which they had, and to be honest, you can look that video up there in my uploads, and you can find that for yourself, where he just basically has a voice contest, but at the same time, okay, not the same time, but like a lot later time, there was a Super Smash tournament there, and over 50 people had registered for it, and guess where I made it? Top 8. I mean, sure, there were a lot of not too many good people there, but over 50 people, and then me and another friend made it to the top 8. And this was before the Diddy patch, so I lost to the hoo-ha. And, basically my other friend was just playing for fun, and he was messing with Ganondorf. And basically, I just had a really fun time, and it just made me feel really good about myself and this game, so I like Super Smash for Wii U. It's very fun, it's a bit addicting, and, don't shit on Little Mac too much. Alright, number 5 on this list, Soul Calibur 4. This is the fighting game I'm good at. This is the fighting game I love playing. And ironically enough, this was the first Soul Calibur game I ever got into. I never really got into 3, I never got into 2, I never even got to the first games. I just went to Soul Calibur 4. Just because I think it was because my brother thought it looked cool, and then we decided to play it. And I started to get a little addicted to it, and I started, practicing and getting good. And it was just an overall fun game for me and my brother to play. And then, of course, we had this whole thing going on where I was Nightmare and he was Siegfried, and we always just kept fighting each other as those styles. And we came to have some really close matches, and those were just like some of the best of my. It was just I had a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure he had a lot of fun too. And we were basically equal in skill in that. It was just the funniest. It was very enjoyable for us because we were so challenging to each other. It allowed us to hook even better into this game because we kept trying to get better and better than the other, while the other one was getting better and better, and it was just a constant cycle of, oh, you're better than me, you're better. Just an all-around fun time. But it was very insane. And then Soul Calibur 5. What do I think of that? The story's shit, but the gameplay's alright. I mean, I don't understand why they had to implement like a super bar, but I don't really care too much. I mean, I know how to use it, mostly. And then, of course, I'm not, yeah, Soul Calibur's 4 and 5 I'm good at, but I prefer Soul Calibur 4 just because I think it's a little faster, and we don't need as much, we don't need those little super moves, really, to make it, enjoyable. We just have to know what moves to use at what time, so that way we could throw off our opponent and such. And, of course, low kicks for the win. Or I can just step on my opponent. It's actually very funny. I've actually beaten a few opponents like that. And then in the story with Soul Calibur 5, there was a Soul Calibur 5 tournament also at Yamacon last year at Yamacon. And I made it second place. I was a runner up. I came in second place, which made me feel really good about myself. And there were very good competitors too. There was, Astaroth and basically the chick who replaced Keelik's girlfriend. I don't remember her name. Oh yeah, that was, or no, was it? I don't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. I did fight a Natsu, and she was good. I mean, the guy playing as her was good. I don't know how I won, but I managed to beat her. And then there was the semifinals where I think those were like one of the harder matches because I was getting really tense. My fingers started cramping. I was like, stop! And it was down like you had to win 5 matches to win, and it was like we each had 4 wins, and whoever won the next game goes on to the finals. Well, basically, I was down to 3. I had only 3 victories. He had 4. So basically, he twitched. He was doing this really well. Astaroth, like he was going fast. He was going lethal. He was going for low blows and other that stuff. And I'm going all like, I don't know how to do this. So he started like twitching the control stick, hopefully to doing my super. And I think I freaked the guy out a little bit. He was like, you all right? I hit him, and that knocked him, and then that allowed me to hit him and to secure my KO. I think that was definitely the most memorable part of the tourney. And then, I got to the 4-4, and then I just basically did like 3 or 4 blows and wrung him out like a dick. I understand. Soul Calibur does have ring outs, which kind of suck, but oh well. What are you going to do about it, really? To be honest, I mean, you can choose an arena that doesn't have ring outs, but I just had really fun with that one because it was just overall really intense. I like Soul Calibur 5 a lot, but Soul Calibur 4 I just think is the better in terms of faster gameplay and such, and control, other stuff. Number 4 is Digimon World for the PlayStation 1. Another very obscure PlayStation 1 game, and I don't understand. I understand why people don't like it because they don't like the raising aspect of it. Training, feeding, letting it take a shit. Pretty much. And but for me and my brother, it was actually a really fun game, and it was really much work. If you work hard at it, you're rewarded like pretty well. And but the thing is, you gotta learn. Before you start playing really well with it, you gotta look up a lot of the tips and stuff about like the game and such. And that's what makes it hard because you can't just go in there blind. You gotta do a little bit research for you to actually like understand the game's mechanics and such. But it's very risk/reward kind of thing. If you want to do this to get this type Digimon or something like that, and this was back then before, DNA Digivolution or Armor Digivolution or basically the newest, and this was back before even Megas existed, and that's actually a really hard time to believe. This was back when Digivices were like the little rectangular things and they had like 3 buttons. It was a very weird game, but I had fun with it. It was very fun. And the stuff you get to do, basically, the story of it, basically, you're stuck in this world, and you have to help him. You have to help the guy in charge to rebuild the city, with restaurants, arenas, shops, etc. And the way you do it, there are various approaches. Most of the time, you just usually have to beat the shit out of another one. You usually beat the shit out of another Digimon to get them to come to a city. Some others you just have to talk to them, or some other things, and there are some other ones that have like very specific requirements. Sorry, I just got a lot of gas, but well, it's actually pretty fun, and it just depends. If you're not into this kind of thing, then Digimon World is not for you. But if you're into like training and all that other stuff, fighting and all that, feeding and taking a shit. And don't worry, there's plenty of toilets, so that way your Digimon doesn't have to shit on the ground. So, because apparently shitting on the ground is very bad, but shitting in a toilet is very good. I don't know why that's the thing, but anyways, Digimon World, also known as Digimon Shitting Game. Number 3, Metal Gear Rising: Revegeance. I recently replayed this game and I had a blast with it because the first time I played it was on normal and it was a little too easy, except for the final boss, of course. And then I played it again on hard mode. It was a little bit harder, but since I still retain some memory of shit, my glasses, I actually touched them, so I have to wash them a little bit. I'll just do it while talking. Basically, it's not your standard Metal Gear Solid game. It's not too much stealth, but there is some stealth, but it's more of a hack and slash than stealth shooter. And it's very fun. Blade mode is very hilarious to use if you want to cut off like the various limbs of your enemies, arms, legs, head. And then of course the Zandatsu, which is of course cutting them in half and then just ripping something with electrolytes, crushing it, and then getting your health back and stuff. That's actually a pretty fun mechanic too. I mean, sure, I abuse the shit out of it sometimes because, I mean, to be honest, if they didn't want it to be abused, then they wouldn't put it in the game. It's a very useful way to heal yourself without using too many items. And I basically did a sword only run, and basically it was all right. It was all right, I mean, yes, I used the sub weapons, but I didn't use the other main weapons that you get from the bosses to help me in the game. I just used my sword, and it was very fun. It was a very fun time. The bosses were great. The soundtrack is holy shit. That's amazing. It's very good stuff. It's very hammy with some anti-political agenda kind of thing, and very controversial, and it's very fun, and I enjoy it a lot. And the 2 DLCs, if you're playing the Xbox, or for what I heard, the PC version has the 2 DLCs free, which is, Jetstream Sam and Blade Wolf. Those are fun too, but I just prefer playing as Raiden just because the parrying is a lot better. So, otherwise, Metal Gear Rising: Revegeance is very actiony, it's very corny, but it's also very deep in of itself. And I just think it's a really good game. It's very fun designed, and you can kick some ass and while having fun. It's good. Number 2. Now you guys are probably going to be all like, what the heck did you choose that one for? But number 2 is a Pokemon game, so you'll probably think, oh, since you like Generation 2, you'll probably go with Silver. Or Generation 3, you'll probably pick Ruby or Emerald. Or Generation 4, maybe Pearl or Platinum. But to be honest, I'm actually going with one of the Generation 3 spin-offs, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, for number 2. Because it's so cool of a game, really, because Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, it's a very catch-heavy game. You catch both Shadow and Wild Pokemon, so that's actually a cool thing, because you actually get to catch Wild Pokemon. You don't have to purify them to actually, get them experience, level up, and evolve. That's actually a really cool thing. And the thing is, and plus you start off with an Eevee. That allows you to do multiple playthroughs of this game, just with the different evolutions alone. Although all the time I just prefer Jolteon, just because it's my favorite, really, because I like electric types. But overall, it allows you to do so many different things, and of course the Shadow Pokemon are varied, and plus, the type of Pokemon you can get. The variety is a lot better. Sure, some of them are repeats of Pokemon Coliseum. You can get a Houndour in XD Gale of Darkness, and you get a Houndoom in Coliseum. but they're giving you to you. But some of these Pokemon some of the better Pokemon are given to you early on. So that way you'd be like, oh hey, I don't remember. I'll just probably use them, and it just turns out to be really good Pokemon for you to use, and also the versatility. Like the shadow moves have been given. You don't recoil You don't recoil every time you use Shadow Rush. There's different Shadow moves. There's Shadow Blitz, which is the weakest, and Shadow Rush, and Shadow Break, and Shadow End, and then there's of course also a bunch of Shadow status moves, which are really, really scary if you start going along and fighting against those type of things. And another big thing is that there's trainers that can have multiple Shadow Pokemon in their team. And then that's when it gets like, holy shit, this is getting hard. I just gotta do this. This is gonna be hard. And Mirror B's, sure he's not a Cypher admin anymore, but he's just, And the thing is about Mirror B is he's also the redeemer of Shadow Pokemon. Like if you accidentally feign a guy's Shadow Pokemon, it runs away. Then Mirror B will pick it up, and then if you find Mirror B, you can battle him again and try and get that Shadow Pokemon again. And basically your average Pokemon game, you can usually get up to 1 or 2 full boxes of Pokemon. But with Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, in my opinion, I think it allows you to get the most Pokemon out of like the 3rd generation games, because you get your Eevee, and there's 83 Shadow Pokemon. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. 83 Shadow Pokemon, your Eevee, and then the 9 different types of wild Pokemon you can get. So that's an all around 93. And of course, there's the 3 Pokemon you can get from duking if you trade them the right Pokemon you get from the wild, and that's adds up to 95 Pokemon in total. So 95 different types of Pokemon. That's insane. That's just wow. 95 Pokemon. Because, when you do a regular playthrough of a game, you can just usually get, like, usually a box or 2 up, and then that's it, until you trade with other games and such. But with Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, it allows you to get a lot of different cool Pokemon, like Salamence and I can't. It's been such a long time since I've played, I can barely remember. Manectric, Lapras. And that was also another thing. If you didn't have Fire Red or Leaf Green, I mean, you can still get your Kanto Pokemon fixed with XD Gale of Darkness, because they have, like, Lapras, Marowak, Poliwrath, Mr. Mime, Electabuzz, Magmar, Pinsir, Scyther. A lot of the more rarer Generation 1 Pokemon, except for Porygon for some reason. But it's just even a Chansey. You can even catch a Shadow Chansey, and that's, sure, it's, the Safari Zones are sometimes really stupid. But I digress. And Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness has been one of my more wanted to replay types of Pokemon games. I like playing through the main series titles, but doing the same thing over and over again, getting all 8 badges just to face off against the legendary Pokemon and fighting the Pokemon League, it just gets a little redundant at times. But then there's one game that you just want to fight the bad guys all the time, and that's XD Gale of Darkness. It goes away from the formula while allowing you to do it. So it allows you to stray from stray from the average story formula, while also adding its own little separate hinks and kinks about it. And that's what makes it really fun. And the soundtrack's also really good as well. Sure, their animations are repetitive, and, it takes forever for something to do, but I still really enjoy it, and I think it's very fun, and I want to play it again. So, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is my 2nd favorite game of all time. Before I get to my number 1, I want to recap. Number 10, SuperCastleVania 4. Number 9, Armored Core Master of Arena. Number 8, Megaman X5. Number 7, Fire Emblem Awakening. Number 6, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Number 5, Soul Calibur 4. Number 4, Digimon World. Number 3, Metal Gear Rising Revegeance. Number 2, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Now my number 1 all-time favorite game of all time. Just anything in general. These are. It doesn't matter if it's a current generation game or if it's a game of past generations. This is my favorite. All right, number one. You hear me? You're hearing me? You hearing me? You hearing me? You hear me? Okay. 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 I probably shouldn't be so loud. There we go. Basically, number one favorite game of all time. It's Star Fox. Wait, and now you're wondering, where's the 64? Well, guess what? 64 is not my favorite. Yep, the original SNES one is my absolute favorite game of all time. Very stellar soundtrack, very good looking graphics at the time because it's a Super Nintendo with a Turbo Graphics chip, and it made it really look really cool, and I like it. It's just a very it's not just, I mean, oh, it's nostalgic to you, that's why. I mean, it's also really fun. There's not many video game glitches with Star Fox. And I just think it's a really good game in general, and it's also one to replay the most, really. I mean, sure, you have your three basic routes, but there's other factors that can influence the terms of paths you take and can influence, your overall experience. Star Fox Super Nintendo is my favorite game. I mean, you can't. I mean, sure, your wingmates don't help you too much, and but hey, you can't kill them on accident and just be all like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta start the level again because I accidentally killed so and so. I just think it's a very. I mean, I mean, it's not a perfect game by any means, but it's just an overall fun game, and I just really enjoy it. And if you have a Super Nintendo or have a Super Nintendo emulator, which unfortunately they can't re-release Star Fox on the Virtual Console because I don't know why. Because I guess because it was made with the TurboGrafx 16 chip, then I guess some of the copyright for the game actually does go to them a little bit. I mean, not for the characters and all their stuff, but just for the graphics and such, which allow the game to be played as it was made for. But I like Star Fox 64. I like Star Fox 2. Star Fox Adventures, hate it with a burning passion. Star Fox Assault was fun. The multiplayer was definitely the thing I played the most. Star Fox Command was okay. It wasn't the best Star Fox. It was alright. It's okay. Otherwise, Star Fox for Super Nintendo is my favorite game of all time. It's just fun. The soundtrack is great. I mean, and plus there's a boss at the end of almost every single level, and that's also another thing I really liked about the game, is because if you go to a level then you don't know what kind of boss it is, or if you've been to that place already, you know how to fight the boss. I mean, sure, that makes it a little bit more easier, but I don't know. And plus, there's different ways you can replay it. You can do a single laser run. You can do a wingless run. No smart bombs. No. You can just do a run of entirely that. Really, it's just there's different ways to play it. It allows you for so many options. Star Fox for Snes is just one of those games I just really love playing. And that's why it's my favorite game of all time, because it's very fun. But it's also not meant for keyboard controls. I mean, if you have a controller that can hook up to your laptop or PC, and you have it on your computer, fantastic. You have my ideal way of playing it. Otherwise, I don't, because keyboards just, they're not the best, but they at least do something. Anyways, those are my top 10 favorite games of all time. SuperCastleVania 4, Armored Core Master Arena, Megaman X5, Fire Emblem Awakening, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, Soul Calibur 4, Digimon World, Metal Gear Rising Revegeance, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. These games just mean a lot to me, and I just have fun. I had fun with a lot of these. I've replayed these a lot. I've played Super Castlevania 4 once and really enjoyed it. Master of Arena I've played like 3 or 4 times. X5 2 or 3 times. Awakening, I've only beaten the game like twice, but I still have fun. Super Smash Wii U, and Soul Calibur are my first experiences with somewhat competitive fighting games. Digimon World and Digimon World's also a really good nostalgic game, and also a game I also really like playing because I know a lot about the mechanics and it just makes me have a fun time. Metal Gear Rising Revegeance, very action-filled stuff while also adding a little bit of hint of philosophy here and there. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, it's a Pokemon game, really. Most of the games are fun for me, really. And of course, Star Fox. Anyways, those are my top 10 favorite games of all time. I know I've wasted like 40 minutes talking about this type of thing, but this is just, it's a little bit of a birthday gift to you guys, just because you guys have stuck around. I mean, I have over 30 subscribers, and to be honest, I don't know how I would even get this far without being well informed or somewhat intelligent. I don't know. Anyways, guys, what are your top 10 favorite games? Leave it in the comments, response, whatever. And until then, I'm the Machine King, and I'm going offline. Peace.